Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel. So today I have a very I guess informative video. I'm going to be talking a lot, but I won't be really saying anything of substance. Obviously by the title of this video or the thumbnail, I'm going to be talking about book series that I've started that I'd like to continue on. So again, there's not really much substance here. I'm not going to be talking in depth about all of these books because there's a lot of books here, and if anything, this just kind of shows anyone watching like what I am interested or invested in. So yeah, so what you won't find in this video are books that are not sci-fi fantasy. This is just those two genres, which are my most read genres. Well, technically I mostly read fantasy and there are some sci-fi, but it's like 90% fantasy here. So this video is going to be organized in middle grade, YA, and then adult / just general audiences. So this will also only be series that I have not like caught up with or finished. For example, I've read the first two books in the Rampart series by M.R. Carey recently, and those are the only books that have been released. It's a trilogy and I've already read the first two. The third hasn't been released. I've read the arcs, so that books like that won't technically be on this list, though I am invested in them. These are just book series that I have not caught up with, even though I want to. So these will all be series, but there are certain authors, and I'm just going to talk about generally, that tend to write books within their own like literary universe, and you'll see when I like get to them. I think that's all I have to say to like preface this video. I don't think there's anything else I'm forgetting. I would be open to doing other videos kind of similar along the same like fantasy series I'm not interested in continuing, or I'm not sure I should continue. Non-sci-fi fantasy series that I would like to continue stuff. I don't know. You let me know what would be fun to see. So yeah, not a lot of like details and like summaries going on here. If anything, I'll just say the series, the author, and how far along I got into the series, if I can remember. So starting with middle grade, I have the Miss Peregrine's Home for Peculiar Children. I think the series is just called the Peculiar Children series by Ransom Briggs. I've only read the first one. The Books of Bayern by Shannon Hale. I've only read The Goose Girl. The Keeper of the Lost City series by Shannon Messenger. I've only read the first book. So the first author grouping comes with Rick Riordan. I never finished the Heroes of Olympus series. I read the Percy Jackson series. I got to Mark of Athena, and I don't think I finished reading that one. Anything that's in this world, I would count as like part of this category. So the Trials of Apollo, I'm not sure if the Magnus Chase series falls into this. I'd have to do research, but The School for Good and Evil by Soman Chainani, I've only read the first book, maybe? I totally don't remember. Actually, I think I read the second book. Our second author grouping would be Tamora Pierce. I've read a lot of her books within the Tortall universe. I've read the Song of the Linus Quartet, the Immortals Quartet, the Becca Cooper trilogy, and I'm almost done with the Protectorate of the Small series, the Skullduggery Pleasant series, I think that's how it's pronounced, by Derek Landy. I've only read the first two books in the series. And lastly, I have Akata Witch by Nnedi Okorafor. I've only read the first book, Akata Witch. So next we have YA. This is like the biggest section of the video. I don't know where to start, so I'm just gonna pick off these two big piles. They're like really tall, so I'm just gonna jump right into it. We have The Arc of the Scythe by Neil Shusterman. I've only read the first book. The Kingdom on Fire series by Jessica Cluess. I've read the first book, A Shadow Bright and Burning, and I think the second one is called A Poison Dark and Drowning. The Great Library series by Rachel Kane. I've only read the first book, Ink and Bone. The Winner's Trilogy by Mary Witkowski. I've read the first book. The Remnant Chronicles by Mary E. Pearson. I've only read The Kiss of Deception. The Caraval Trilogy by Stephanie Garber. I've only read Caraval. The Diviner series by Libba Bray. I've only read The Diviners and Lair of Dreams. The Daughter of the Pirate King duology by Tricia Levenseller. I've only read Daughter of the Pirate King. The Throne of Glass series by Sarah J. Maas. I've only read Throne of Glass. So we have another author grouping, Cassandra Clare. I've read the Mortal Instruments books 1 through 6. I've also read the Infernal Devices, and I've read the Bane Chronicles, and I haven't read anything published after that. The Rebel of the Sands trilogy by Alwyn Hamilton. I've only read Rebel of the Sands. The Illuminae Files by Amy Kaufman and Jay Kristoff. I've only read Illuminae. The Chaos Walking trilogy by Patrick Ness. I've only read The Knife of Never Letting Go. The Want series, I'm not sure if it's a duology or if she's continuing it on, by Cindy Pon. I've only read Want. The Witchland series by Susan Dennard. I've only read Truth Witch. The Daughter of Smoke and Bone trilogy by Laini Taylor. I've only read The Daughter of Smoke and Bone. The Lunar Chronicles by Mercer Meyer. I've only read Cinder. I think it's called the Soul Finders series by Maria V. Snyder. I've read Poison Study and Magic Study. The Wrath and the Dawn duology by Renee Audier. I've only read The Wrath and the Dawn. The Beautiful Creatures series by Cami Garcia and Margaret Stoll. I've only read Beautiful Creatures. The Red Queen series by Victoria Aveyard. I've only read Red Queen. The Gemma Doyle trilogy by Luba Bray. I've read the first 2 books, but I'm probably going to do a reread soon. So we have another like author grouping with Leigh Bardugo's like Grisha verse. I've only read Shadow and Bone. I believe it's the Blood of the Stars duology by Elizabeth Lim. I've only read the first book, Spin the Dawn. Jeff Wheeler's like entire like King Fountain series I'd like to get through, and I know that one of his like universes also interacts with another universe, so like anything that is connected I would like to read. I've only read the first 3 books in the King Fountain series, and I read the Harbinger series as well. The Vortex Chronicles by Elise Kova. I've only read the first 2 books. And the Raven and the Dove series by Caitlin Davis. I've only read the first book, The Raven and the Dove. And that is it for YA. So now starting with the adult sci-fi fantasy. I'm not sure what the series is called, but the first is A Child of a Hidden Sea by A.M. Delamonica. I've only read this 1 book in the series. So we have the Memoirs of Lady Trent series by Marie Brennan. I've only read A Natural History of Dragons. The Nevernight trilogy by Jay Kristoff. I've only read Nevernight like multiple times. I think it's pronounced the Lysanias or Lacanius trilogy by James Islington. I've only read The Shadow of What Was Lost. I think it's Their Bright Ascendancy series by Kay Arsenal Rivera. I've only read The Tiger's Daughter. The All Souls trilogy by Deborah Harkness. I've only read A Discovery of Witches. The Southern Reach trilogy by Jeff Vandermeer. I've only read Annihilation. The Villain series by V.E. Schwab. I've only read Vicious. The Red Rising series by Pierce Brown. I've only read Red Rising. The Song of Shattered Sands series by Bradley Bulow. I've only read 12 Kings and Sharakai. The Mercy Thompson series by Patricia Briggs. I've read the first 3 books in the series. The Dresden Files by Jim Butcher. I read the first 2 books in the series. All the books in Emma Hamm's like Otherworld universe. I've read The Heart of the Fae. The Parasol Protectorate by Gail Carriger. I've only read the first book in the series. The Agents of the Crown series by Lindsay Broker. I've read the first 2 books in the series. The Four Horsemen by Laura Thalassa. I've read the first 2 books in this series. And the Six World series by Rebecca Roanhorse. I've only read the first book in the series, Trail of Lightning. And that concludes all the fantasy series that I would like to continue. Again, there are a lot more series that I've started that I'm not super keen on continuing. I could do a video on that. I could do other types of videos that are just like a list like this. I know they might be kind of boring. It's kind of boring, I get that. So this video might not like be for everybody. I like watching just like list videos, or just like videos that have like useless information. I mean, it depends on what you think is useless, but I like just seeing what people have read. I don't always need like a discussion behind it. Thank you so much for watching. I will be linking all my socials down below. I'm more active on Instagram if you want to like immediately like DM me there and just talk to me. Again, thank you so much for watching, and I will see you in the next one. Peace out.